Hello and welcome everybody. It is Rocket League time. We are here at Farmstead. This is MLE presented by APM Music, and I am the real Mobags. And tonight I am joined by the Bomb. How you doing, man?
I'm doing tired. I keep asking to cast right after I play my Ultimate Frisbee League, and now my leg hurts. But it's okay, because I like casting, and what we have today is a really exciting match in the Academy League between two teams that are currently both in wildcard spots.
Yeah, both in wildcard spots and both sending out what I could only assume is their A rosters, sort of knowing what is on the line here. We're getting toward the end of the season, and both, or rather all four of the players that we have tonight are at the highest possible salary that you can be, a 12.5, which is 1,250 MMR. Do you want to talk a little bit about the players we've got tonight? Or
Sure.
Or rather, if you want, I could real quick here. We've got Gabronis and Gristle on the side of the Knights tonight, and then we have King Haas and America's Finest on the side of the Foxes. All four players are very capable, so I am expecting to see very, very high octane play from everybody tonight.
Indeed, and Grizzly, he is doing pretty good this season. Currently played 25 games, positive 14-11, doing pretty well. Gabronis, let's see. He is doing pretty well as well. He, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Decent MVPR, so he's averaging actually pretty average. He's been doing a lot of everything on the field, so watch out for him. And yeah, looks like we're about to get started.
Yeah, another notable thing, real quick, Gabronis leads in, or rather, Gristle leads in almost every category for his team, so he is definitely the player to watch tonight. As we get this one going, Gristle gets one right off the bat, but it's going to be stopped by the Foxes. And another one put on by Gabronis, saved somehow by King Haas, just in the right place at the right time. It's going to go all the way back down to the Knights, who are going to clear that one out. And we've got this one going off the back wall. Sorry.
You're fine. So far, very even, but not anymore. As you mentioned, Grizzly leads in every category for the Foxes, or for the Knights, and he is going to lead in goals here in Game 1 and going to put them up on the board first.
Yeah, the Knights start off quick. And definitely getting off to a fast start. We've got 30 seconds off the clock, and the Knights are off to a fast start. Like we said, in Grizzly, just dribbling around everybody there right off the kickoff. Foxes don't really look like they know what they're doing here. They don't know how to get this ball out. They finally do, but Gabronis is going to be there to challenge and put it right back in. America's Finest is going to have to stop Gristle again. Gristle opts for a boost steal as Gabronis is going to turn. They're both on top of each other in the corner. This could be a problem. It's going to get cleared down. That's on target. Gabronis is going to have to make a stop. He does right off the crossbar. America's Finest can't quite put that one back onto target, and the Knights are getting right out of trouble quickly there.
They did a good job of quickly getting back from offense to defense. That was a good save there by Gabronis to just kind of tap it on the top of his car and just hit that off his own backboard to get the save. And now they're back on the offense as America's Finest is going to get that block.
And this one's going to go right back into the net as Gristle is going to slot that one in off the rebound. That is another great shot from him. Knights are going to be up 2 now. The Foxes need to get something going.
And Gabronis does a good job of hitting it off the backward. If you try to put it on target, it may have easily been saved, but instead with him putting it on the backboard, it just gives Grizzly an amazing opportunity to score that, and he has an opportunity again, and it's gonna go in. Grizzly gonna put the Knights up 3 early here in Game 1.
Yeah, Grizzly's starting off with a hat trick in Game 1. That ball was just a little bit too awkward there for America's Finest to really feel like he could commit and jump off the wall for it, and Grizzly takes full advantage, putting the Knights up. Kickoff in favor of the Knights once again. This is going to be another tough one to keep out, but they do both Knight players are way out of this play, and America's Finest is going to easily walk that one in.
And Gabronis, they're a little antsy. They're a little, maybe overconfident, I guess, in trying to score another goal, as he did go on that from a decently far away position, as Grizzly was already committed in that play. Ball got around Gabronis, and that was just an open net for the Foxes, and now they're on the board here in Game 1.
Yeah, I like the sentiment there to go for that shot, to really put the nail in the coffin of this game early. But if you find yourself overcommitting like that, the Foxes are going to find a door open for themselves, and they do just that. Gabronis with another unfortunate double tap there is going to put it center for the Foxes, and now they're only down with 1.
And not even half a game has played. There's still 3 minutes left in this game. 5 goals total scored, so anything can happen, and I expect everything to happen as we continue into Game 1.
Yeah, and another thing to point out is you can start off with a quick lead, but it can quickly go away if you are not careful. And these Foxes aren't someone to sort of be not looked down upon, but you don't count them out, especially with as much time as we have left in this game. As Gristle's going for an air dribble, runs out of boost, nearly stuffs that one in. He had no defenders to beat, just didn't have the boost to control that down, and now the Foxes start. King Haas has it on his hood, but he's gonna get a demo for his trouble, but he's also gonna lose that ball. America's Finest left to clean that one up. Gristle's gonna have to chase this one down into his own corner. He's got lots of space. Let's see what he can do here. Not as much boost. He's gonna get that one, but it's gonna be just over Gabronis, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
King Haas just barely tapping it over last defender Gabronis. Good patience by him as well to kind of wait until he realized that the air dribble was gonna basically die out. So well played by Haas, and he ties up the game for the Foxes, and we've got 2 minutes left. Let's see who's gonna score next.
Yeah, that would have been a strong mechanical play for Gristle had he had the full boost in the tank, but only having 50, he wasn't quite able to get that ball over the second defender, but he's gonna cross up King Haas, and he's gonna put the Knights back on top. What a dribble.
A nice little touch in the air to get it past one. Way to bait out Haas on that shot, and he's putting the Knights on his back. 4 goals on 5 shots. This man is a machine, like you said earlier.
Yeah, Gristle, he leads his team in most categories that you can lead a team in, and he is showing that right now. He is doing very, very well, as he's going to go for a double tap. That one's going to go down. He reads it, not quite fast enough, and Gabronis isn't going to be able to put that one on target. And Gristle finds himself in a 2v1. He's able to get one stop. Can he get this ball onto target? He's still up for it. Knights are going to double commit, and that is going to bail the Foxes out on this one, but not quite yet. Gabronis is going to fan on that. Gristle finds himself behind the ball, and the Foxes are going to put us back even.
And we got a shootout here in Game 1, 4-4, and Gristle just not in the right spot. Tried to intercept the ball early, and I think just basically failed it, and they were able to get behind the ball, and just ended up Foxes able to put it in.
Yeah,
we got a minute left.
I think what we might be seeing here is the Knights, rather, I almost said the Foxes. The Knights are the faster team, but we are seeing that they are very prone to making mistakes and double committing and all that kind of stuff that you really hate to see, as we see Gristle beat 1, beat 2, and then leave a wide open net here for Gabronis, and he's going to slot that one in. Knights are back on top, but what I was saying is they seem to be a little bit prone to those double commits, prone to giving the ball away, and prone to being overcommitted when they go on to attack, thinking that, oh, this is for sure where we're going to score. And the Foxes are just kind of slow playing the ball, really taking advantage of those mistakes, and that's what's keeping them in this game right now.
They are still down by 1, however, 30 seconds left. They do play it slow, but they can't really afford to play it slow if they need 1 more goal. We'll see if they have what they can do in 20 seconds. Yeah,
they need to get this ball away from Gristle, who goes for a flip reset, not able to get it. He's going to try to get this one back to Gabronis, who is slightly overcommitted. He's not going to make contact on the ball. That is on target. That is in. King Haas is going to tie us up once again. 10 seconds left to go.
Good play there by King Haas to just finish it off. Gabrones couldn't read that back in time. Bounces off the back wall. King Haas able to finish it off. We got a tie ball game once again. 10 seconds left.
Yeah, this is a shootout if I have ever seen one. I'm almost sure this is going to overtime, but this ball is dangerous for the Foxes. That's going to be on target. That is in at 1 second left, and the Foxes, I think, just stole a game here from the Knights.
Indeed, Gabrones again just couldn't get there in time. What a touch by King Haas, able to get it over Grizzly. America's Finest able to capitalize. 1 second left. We'll see if they can do something, but ball's up.
Ball is in the air. This one is going to be still in the air, not dead yet. Gristle's going to look to carry this one over. He's not going to find the flick, and the Foxes take game one. I do not know what to say about that. It looked like the Knights, starting off with a 3-0 lead, had this one in the bag, but they let the Foxes back in.
And just kudos to the Foxes for having the mental fortitude to stay in this game. Because yes, they did come back from the 0-3, but then the Knights, they kept scoring as well. They kept taking their lead back. And it just kudos to the Foxes to just kind of staying in there, realizing, hey, it's fine. We can still score. We're in this. We just gotta capitalize on their mistakes. They indeed capitalize on the mistakes. Good solo plays near the end, getting it past some various defenders. And Fox is gonna steal the game one away, but I feel like they kind of deserved it near the end.
Yeah, and for all my solo queue teammates watching at home, that is what can happen if you just stay focused and you sort of limit the mistakes that you can make. Yeah, I know. They really need to watch this game and sort of take notes, because even if you're down 3-0 and you've got 3 minutes, you've got 4.5 minutes left, that is so much time. And as long as you don't let yourself get down, talking about the mental fortitude that you were earlier, any game you can come back from, and the Knights definitely need to kind of refocus, because they had that game sort of in the bag and all they needed to do was put it away. But they let the Foxes back in. The Foxes stayed strong, and now both teams probably more acclimated to each other. We're going to see what they do here. I'm definitely expecting more of the same. That was just great play from both teams all around.
Definitely. I don't expect it to be quite a 6-5 shootout, but I expect some goals to be scored here, as the Knights definitely have their ways of getting offensive pressure. So we'll see, as the Foxes are going to get the offensive pressure first, and they're going to come out to the early lead here in game two.
Oh my, I did not see that one coming. America's Finest, I didn't think he was going that fast, but he's going to find that demo. Gabrone is not able to make the touch, and the Foxes start off strong this game. They're going to put themselves up 1-0 here. As we get into the second kickoff, it goes into the favor of the Foxes. Gabrone's back in his corner to receive, is going to catch this one, looks to flick, but can't get it over America's Finest and the Foxes. But Gristle able to clean up that 50-50, get this one center. That one's going to get cleared all the way back down into the corner. Gabrones is going to look to stop this. He's not going to find a touch. America's Finest takes a 50. Is King Haas here to put it back? He can't find that touch either, and he's going to touch this one back to his teammate. Gristle, though, is going to be first to it. America's Finest forced to make a save, and he does. Gabrones passing over to Gristle. Gristle can't make that touch. That's going to be a shot. He's able to corral it to the center, and it seems like so far this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth game, as America's Finest puts that one just off target. This is definitely seeming to be a slower game here as we get into the second one.
Definitely, I would say, but the Knights aren't necessarily getting as much offensive pressure as I'd like to see them. They only have the one shot from Grizzly. I'd like to see if they get a passing play going, as that was almost a passing play, but the Foxes overcommit. Let's see if the Knights can capitalize.
Yeah, both Fox players are committing on that play, and Gabrone is again not able to get it back center. I think Gristle might have been waiting for that pass to the middle, and it never came. America's Finest was able to get one touch. Gristle out hunting for boosts, not able to be there to make that save. And now the Foxes find themselves with a commanding lead at this point. There's only one shot coming from the Knights and two from the Foxes, both of which have gone in so far.
And the Foxes, I feel like they're just doing a very good job of capitalizing on the mistakes of the Knights. The Knights are wanting to play fast, and the Foxes realize this, but they're just kind of playing for the mistakes, which seem to be coming at a relatively decent pace, and the Foxes are capitalizing. We'll see if the Knights can kind of shore up what they're doing, as they'll need to if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, and the advantage that the Knights had in the last game was definitely their speed, and I am not seeing it. Just like you said, they are very much playing a little bit slow, wanting to ramp the pace up, but they're just not able to against these Foxes, who have just been bottling up every opportunity that they've been seeing. As that one is going to be saved once again from King Haas, and he's going to put a shot near target but not on, and Gristle is going to get this one back out. It's a 1v1 situation. We've seen him be good in these before. He gets past one, he gets past the other, but he's going to be off the crossbar. But Gabrones, oh, that is a mouthful, but he is able to put that one away and get the Knights back in within one.
And that was an excellent fake by Grizzly onto America's Finest. I was amazed. Grizzly's solo play is just incredible. I love watching this dude. And finally, the increased offensive pressure from the Knights pays off. They're able to get the ball on goal, and Knights are still in this.
That's a bump coming from America's Finest. King Haas, though, was being a little bit patient there. A little too patient, I would say. He could have put that empty net in, but not quite able to be there. This is going to be a pass out to Gristle. Can he put that one on? He doesn't jump for it. He lets America's Finest play that one out, and he's going to go back to putting this into a pass for Gabrones, who is there for the shot. That one is going to be high, and America's Finest looks to catch this one, misses it initially, and is forced to take a 50 with Gristle, who just bangs that one into the top corner of the arena. Pass down to Gabrones. He's got the catch. He's got the ball on his hood, but he can't get the flick off. And now both players, or two players rather, are up for this. Gristle has to make a save. He's going to do just that. The Knights still down one, need another goal, and we've got ourselves in another 1v1 situation. Gristle tries the mind game, but isn't quite able to get it past, and now Gabrones looks to take a 50 in the corner, trying to pass it over to Gristle, who puts it right back into center onto the hood of King Haas, who clears it all the way down. We're getting it to be a little bit back and forth. This is going to be an empty net. No one in frame of the camera there, as Gristle is going to tie this game up. The Foxes both double commit on the wall here for that ball. That is something that we haven't really seen from them. That is a big and costly mistake for them.
And Grizzly don't miss those, man. If you double commit, leave the ball for Grizzly, he gonna put that on target, man. And indeed he did. Knights tie up the game. Less than a minute to go. We'll see if the Foxes can quench this new attack coming out from the Knights, and we'll see if they can capitalize once more. Foxes are doing a very good job of capitalizing. We'll just need to see if they're able to capitalize some more.
Gristle initially gets the save for that, but it's going to get played around him and Gabrones anyways. That was a great placement that he had himself in. Gabrones just awkward on the wall. King Haas is going to put that one in and put the Foxes back on top.
And this is what we need to see from the Foxes as well to win this game. A good solo play from King Haas. This is something I've noticed from the Foxes in Game 1 and in Game 2. That they have just kind of played passive in like the first half, 2/3 of the game. And then when it comes like the last third, last minute or so, there's always a solo play that comes out from the Foxes that just kind of barely puts them over the edge. And that's what's really getting the Foxes these leads here in the ends of these games.
Yeah, and we see Gristle try to put that one on target. The time is ticking down. They need to keep this ball up, but it is going to touch, and the Foxes take game 2 in dominant fashion, I would say. They gave up their lead briefly there, but man, did they look a lot better than they did in the first game. They really took it to the Knights, and the Knights seemingly slowing the ball down. That is not what sort of put them ahead in game 1, and they need to definitely speed up their pace of play if they're going to stay competitive in this series. They're on match point right now, and they need they need the reverse sweep to take this game here, or take this series rather.
Indeed. The Knights' pace of play was still somewhat fast, but not fast enough. The Knights did have more shots than the Foxes, I want to point out. But the Foxes do a very good job of just kind of biding their time in the first half, the first 3/4 of play, and they come out with a solo play to just get it around the Knights, and by the time the last kind of minute of play comes around, the Knights just did not get enough offensive pressure in the first 3 minutes, 4 minutes to kind of have a cushion of a lead to go on. And the Foxes, they kind of just pop off near the latter end of the matches, and that's what's pushing them towards these victories. And I like to see them do it again if they want to win this series.
Yeah, and I think something that the Knights can kind of do to put themselves back into the driver's seat, aside from picking up their pace of play, is getting Grizzly into 1v1 situations. We've seen him a few times in this match so far really take full advantage of those and show his one's prowess as he tries to take that one from Gabrones, but Gabrones is gonna knock it away. He's a little bit awkward here. King Haas is gonna put that on target, but Gristle is gonna be there for the save. But Gristle in a 1v1 situation is not what you want to see if you're a Fox fan. He is very, very dangerous, as we've seen so far in this match.
Indeed, but like you said, he just needs to be put in these situations. I feel like he's half the time bailing out Gabrones in these situations, as he's not necessarily getting the right touches or in the right situations, and so he doesn't really have a chance to get in these 1v1 situations. We'll see what he does here, as he does have the ball for an extended period of time. That's a good demo by King Haas to prevent that passing play from going through.
Yeah, King Haas definitely read that play. You saw Gristle look for his teammate on the wall there. The demo takes him away, and that's going to be an open net there. Fanned on from the Foxes as Gristle, once again in the air, looks to dribble over. Not going to do it. He's going to look for the bump. Can't find the bump. Gabrones puts a shot on target, but it gets saved by the Foxes, rather. We've got ourselves a 0-0 game. We haven't seen these teams go this long without scoring thus far in this series, and I'm wondering if the Knights are still sort of trying to slow it down a little bit. We see Gabrones a little awkward there. Gristle recognizing that they have all the time in the world. Gabrones gets it past one. America's Finest is going to have a hard time catching that. He is able to do it. He is able to get one touch. That's on target. Gristle makes the save, but it's off the crossbar and in a great spot for King Haas, who's going to put it home. The Foxes again find themselves in the lead and scoring first.
And this is one of the a few mistakes, I would say, coming out from Grizzly. I feel like he could have easily put that along the zone corner if he had kind of played around his car a little bit better. Instead, it bounces off his own back post right down for King Haas, and that's, once again, the Foxes in the right place at the right time to take advantage of the Knights' mistakes. We'll see if the Knights can reclaim their offense here.
Yeah, and the Knights have definitely been more mistake prone. That's why in that first game, what their advantage was just playing so much faster than the Foxes were, and we haven't seen that yet in the last two games. They really, if they pick up their pace and they start putting on these shots, it's going to get a lot more awkward for the Foxes, who are just content on waiting for everything to come to them and just taking advantage of any sort of overcommits or whiffs from the Knights. As this one is going to be looking good, but America's Finest gets a save after getting a bump on Grizzly there to save off that goal. This one's gonna be centered. It's gonna be dangerous. Grizzly gonna play this one into the wall as he looks to start up a wall shot. King Haas there to make the save, and he's gonna clear this one down. Gabrones, though, gets a good 50. Grizzly's up for this one. He's got the shot on target. It's just off the post and in. The Knights tie the game up. They've got 2 minutes left to take this series back into control for themselves.
And there you go, Grizzly. Just give the man any sort of room, whether it's on the ground or on the air. He will make it happen. Gets it over the last defender. Ties up the game for the Knights. We'll see if they can get another one here. We'll see if the Foxes can play their slow, methodical game. a minute is approaching, and so I know the Foxes have gotten some good solo plays in the latter half of these matches, and America's Finest is gonna bring the Foxes out to a 1-goal lead again.
Yeah, and you really hate to see it. The Knights want to keep mounting that pressure, but every time they do it, and it is not resulting in a goal, they basically get scored on. The Foxes are just, they have their gameplay, they have their game style right now. It is wait for the Knights to do something and then just take advantage of an overcommit, and that's all they've really had to do so far, and they find themselves with the lead in the game, in the series, and they're going to take that. That's going to be in off the ceiling. America's Finest with the calculated 50. That is just unbelievable, and again, you hate to see it. The chances of that happening are just so slim, but the Foxes will take it.
And I honestly think that America's Finest was trying to go for some sort of block on that play. He got a really good angle on that block, but Grizzlies not letting the Knights go out without a fight. Even though America's Finest got a goal, Grizzlies coming swinging right back.
Yeah, and we can call the last goal, it was definitely a good 50, but Gristle just full on, like, one's mechanics, gets that touch over I forget who was in net, but they had no chance, and that one's gonna go screaming at that top corner, not gonna be on though, and the Knights finding themselves down 1. They've got 1 minute left. That is so much time in Rocket League, and all they've got to do is take control. Gristle gets a good 50 there, but it's going to be very neutral. That one's going to be high. America's Finest puts that one on target. Gabrones can't find the touch off the rebound, and that is some insurance for the Foxes. All they've got to do now is keep the ball in front of them, and the Knights are just going to come and just throw whatever they can at their net and hope that something sticks, but they have to score very quickly here, so look for them to definitely overcommit here, as Crystal's going to be up way early for that. He's going to stop the Knights attack before it starts. America's Finest puts that one into the corner, just taking that time off, and it continues to tick and tick. King Haas is going to be patient on this one. Sorry for cutting you off there.
You're fine,
He's
you're fine.
Gonna take this 50, and yeah, the Knights just can't get out of their half now. The Knights, or the Foxes, just keep putting it back in and putting it back in.
Yeah, it's just really hard for the Knights, because the Foxes, they always pop off in this latter section of the match. They already got 1 goal at minute 30. There's a chance here. Gabrones, no! Grizzly not either. A good save by America's Finest.
Wow.
It's going to be the Foxes. They're going to take this series with just... I'm amazed at their sort of end-of-game performances. They really are able to kind of shut down the Foxes, and the Knights are going to get a ending goal for their troubles here, as Grizzly's going to try to increase that goal differential, however negative it may be for the Knights. But it's going to be the Foxes. We're going to take the series 3-0. We'll see if the Knights can kind of lick their wounds in Game 4 and Game 5, try to make it not as bad.
Yeah, that again, I'm really surprised to see. I don't think that the series scoreline really paints an accurate picture of this matchup, just because the Knights they've basically been in every single game that they've lost. For that first one especially, they had full control and looked to be sort of the more mechanically gifted team. But that just really goes to show mechanics aren't necessarily everything. The Foxes have been making less mistakes. They've been in better positions, and they have taken full advantage of really every single mistake the Knights have made. Really, really tough to sort of lose in that way when you know that you have the mechanical ability to score and you're just not able to score enough to get yourself on top. So I really feel for the Knights here, and I'm hoping that they are able to take a couple games off these Foxes just for that little bit of morale boost that it will be. But the Foxes, if they just sort of follow their game plan that they've been, there aren't going to be much problems that they have to deal with, because the Knights just sort of keep putting the ball into their lap and letting them score.
Indeed. I feel like if the Knights, if they don't score like 3 within like half a game to play, I feel like the Foxes just basically win. Because the Foxes, as long as they just kind of restrain the Knights' crazy offense, they just pop off near the latter portion of the game. But let's see if I almost went in. A great save by America's Finest.
Yeah, the Knights starting off pretty strong here. They've already got a couple shots on target. And Gristle's going to put that one. It looks to be nearly on target, but just off. Both Knights committing for this. No one there to put in this goal. Now Gristle will, and he is going to put the Knights on the board first. That was a little bit of a mess there, to say the least. He had almost every single player in the lobby trying to get that ball off the crossbar. Gristle able to recover the quickest and finally puts it in.
And that's a good start for the Knights. This is what you need for the Knights. Score 1 before a minute has passed. You need to score as much as you can before half the game comes around, because that is where you're going to do the best. The best time you had to win a game was in game 1 when you scored that 3 in a row. I feel like if you do that this time, then you'll be on a good track. But Foxes the other way, it's going to be King Haas with the booming clear after the Knights overcommit on the offensive side, and we got a tie ball game.
Yeah, and I mean, this right here is the tail of the game. The Knights go on attack. They have a great chance to do it. The Foxes get themselves a save, and in this case, it was a save and a goal at the same time. The same touch that kept it out was the one that put it in on the other end. So really, that is sort of the epitome of this series. And for the Knights, it's kind of exactly what you said. They need to be scoring quickly, and then they need to adopt the Foxes sort of playbook and just wait for the Foxes to come to them. Let them make the mistakes. Let them sort of be the ones that get punished on the other end when they whiff on the ball or the shots off target. They find themselves in the lead now, so we'll see if they can hold on to it. And we'll see if the Foxes are able to sort of keep their composure and not make the mistakes that we've seen from the Knights.
Indeed, and Knights do have that lead again, but it's a matter of see if America's Finest can do something here. No, King Haas. It's going to be bounced off the backboard, and
ooh!
What a shot from King Haas. Barely bouncing off the back and in. Really well played. I feel like that's a pretty good shot from the Foxes, from King Haas right there. Taking his time, reading it off the backboard, getting it over the defender.
Yeah, I couldn't
Good
tell.
play by him.
I couldn't tell if it was the slow motion of that replay or if the Knights were actually just frozen solid, kind of stuck together there on the goal line. They were just not able to figure out where that ball was going to come from off the wall. And the Foxes tied the game back up. And the Knights really looking to get this game won. They would love to not sort of go home empty-handed, but the Foxes, in sort of the chaos that was that little play in the corner, are able to find the goal. Gristle just touching it off the wall. Perfect pass over to King Haas, and he's going to put the Foxes back on top, and now the Knights are finding themselves in trouble.
And something I'm noticing from King Haas is he's actually playing very fast. The entire Foxes have just sort of kind of clicked on, and now they're playing fast themselves, and that's going to be a 2-goal lead for the Foxes. Great play there by America's Finest. Who needs the latter half of the game to pop off when you have the first half of the game to pop off?
Yeah, the Foxes definitely sort of, they're almost flipping the script. They are the ones that are very aggressive here, but Gristle showing off the one's prowess, able to get the touch here. Past one, the other one flipping out of the way. He's able to just get it by everybody. Puts that one in, puts the Knights back within one. This is definitely a scary look here from the Foxes. They are just very, very dominant, even against Gristle, who we've seen is very mechanically gifted and able to sort of make these carries, make these dribbles that are like super hard to counter. But they're just able to swallow it all up with their defense and positioning. as Gristle.
And I still feel like the Foxes have a major advantage. The Knights, that goal scored there, it's Grizzly using a solo play off of a kickoff. Kickoff goals are common, and I feel like it's not too representative of the way pressure is impacting a match. So Foxes still strong, still that 1-goal lead, still got about 2 minutes left in the match. Let's see if they can hold on.
Yeah, and to that point, I don't think we did see the Foxes score any kickoff goals. All of the kickoff goals that we saw were from the Knights, as we see, oh, that one's going to go off the crossbar. I thought for sure that was going to get bottled up. Nearly goes in for Grizzly here, and he's going to have to play a little bit of defense. He shadows, puts that one off the corner. He's able to follow it, but not finding the touch, and Gabrone's up a little awkwardly. Gristle there to catch it though. King Haas, not wanting to give up on this offensive attack, is still on this ball. America's Finest plays this one into the corner. Gabrone's to catch. No one on him, so he's got lots of time. He's going to play this one off the wall. Looked like he still had boost, but was conserving it maybe to get that 50. Gabrone's playing this one off the wall. He's going to go into the corner, still looking to score one more goal, trying to get this game tied back up, trying to get a win for the Knights, doing everything they can. Gristle's going to get past one. Can he get past America's Finest? He does, but it's not on target. And King Haas able to beat Gabrones to that ball. And now, again, that's a great pass over to America's Finest, but he's not going to find it on the end of his car. And the Knights get out lucky on that one.
Yeah, and the Knights, they're still putting up the pressure. They're playing good defense here in these later moments. But the Foxes defense is also really showing strong. Grizzly trying to make some sort of solo play. Saw a flick earlier that just couldn't get around them. Trying everything. They're getting a demo right there from Grizzly. But Foxes just barely holding on. See what happens here. No, it's going to be America's Finest, and we're approaching 15 seconds left.
Yeah, and Gristle, no boost, able to find a few touches on this ball, trying to get it over to Gabrones. Gabrones gets it past one. America's Finest is going to send this one back down. Gristle finds it on the hood of his car. He's going to try to chase this one down to the wall. Are we going to see a ceiling shot? We are. 0 seconds on the... Oh, that was nearly in. Just touches the ground right before the goal. Not quite able to get this game tied up. And the Foxes are going to take game 4. One more and they get the perfect sweep in the series. The Knights have looked dangerous in every single game, but they just can't quite pull out the wins. You hate to see it just because of how well both teams are playing. The series scoreline definitely not indicative of how well everybody on the field is playing.
Indeed, and the Knights, they have good offensive pressure, but they use the offensive pressure too much, I feel. They're trying to make passing plays, but the passing plays are too in towards the net, and when they commit, the Foxes are simply there first, and allows them for an easy rotation into a goal on the opposite side. So I'd like to see the Knights keep up that offensive pressure, but play it a little more smartly. Try to bring the ball outwards towards center as opposed to inwards more towards the net when looking for passes. If you do something like that, then you have a really good offensive pressured team that can actually score more and not get capitalized on when you overcommit.
Yeah, that's really something that I sort of also, I agree with you in that sense. I don't necessarily, well, when I'm playing, I don't like the passing plays. When I'm casting, I'm all for it. The Knights are going to take this lead, but finishing my thought, I don't like passing plays when I'm trying to win a game. I think that it's a bad sort of strategy in twos, especially, I think me and you are around the same level. It just sort of lends it opens up yourself for mistakes, and it allows the other team to get an easy conversion on the other end, which is what we've seen. And as America's Finest is going to find a bump in the air, going to keep this ball on its trajectory into the net. That is a great shot here from America's Finest, and this game is back to tie. But yeah, the passing plays, They have to be right on the money and out away from the goal, like you were saying, so that you can still keep good positioning on the ball as we get into this 5th and final game.
Indeed. And we've seen 2 kickoff goals this game, so I feel like this game 5 here is still relatively even. We haven't really seen any increased playtime yet this game. So currently even so far. Foxes do have an extra shot, but just a matter of now that kickoff goal is not in the picture, who can either capitalize on a mistake like I've seen the Foxes do a lot, and maybe right here as well, but King Haas can't quite get the angle off of the back post. Or if the Knights can get some either good solo plays or some good passing plays going on, but here's America's Finest and Grizzly there with a good save.
Yeah, that was a great save coming from America's Finest. I thought for sure that was going in. I thought either one of the Foxes could have put it in, but Gristle committing to the defense, able to get that ball back out. That ball is going to be awkward. That bounces high. King Haas opts for a boost steal. America's Finest trying to come in. Gristle keeps it away from him, and Gabrones able to find another touch. The Foxes a little bit further back than we've seen. I know that they've been the ones that have been sort of the facilitators of the mistakes being made from the Knights, but they are playing a little bit further back than I would expect, given their sort of position in this series. I don't know exactly what their what your motivation is after you've already won a series, after it's already at least 4-1. It's weird. They're definitely not wanting to get scored on still here, but the Knights are kind of just letting it happen. They're not able to get the offense moving, and the Foxes have all of the pressure so far in this game. And that one's going to go over to Gabrones, who's not going to put this one on target. Foxes start this one back up. That's going to be knocked off of Gabrones, who sends it a little bit center. Gristle's able to get the touch. He fakes going up for it. And Gabrones is going to send this one back down. Can't find a 50, so this is heading straight back. And that is going to be a great catch and shot there from King Haas. Able to find that angle, moving as fast as he was. That is very, very skillful shot there from King Haas to keep that away from Gristle and on target.
And Grizzly was kind of expecting Gabrones there to get it past America's Finest, and he kind of cheated up on the play a little bit, but America's Finest just kind of shoots it way over his head. And hold that thought as Gabrones is going to score off the kickoff. Knights doing a good job and a good 50 there by Gabrones to really kind of help out the Knights there, getting a good solo play of himself there. So it's good to see from the Knights.
Yeah, and the Knights finding themselves once again with another kickoff goal. That is their bread and butter right there. They have scored, I think, every single kickoff goal in this game. Not that they've scored on every kickoff, but that the Foxes haven't found themselves in a position to do so. That's going to be a great shot off the crossbar. Gristle able to keep that one out. That is just fantastic shot placement, but no one from the Foxes able to follow up and put it back in. That's a good 50-50 from Gabrones, who steals the boost, looks for a demo, but King Haas already up at the ceiling for that ball. Gristle looks to flick, not going to find the power he needs, and that one is going to get cleared back. America's Finest looks for a touch, but Grizzly gets that touch and is able to clear this one out. Gabrones needs to get a touch here. He's able to get it past. It's going to be into the corner, looking to pass. That's going to be open. He's off the ceiling. Looks like he maybe even had a chance to do it, but opts to let Grizzly go for that one. And now America's Finest sends this one back down. No one in net right now for the Knights, but Grizzly safely corrals that one over the net. He's got a 1v1 situation, but America's Finest finds the catch. Gabrones can't find that boost. That's going to be a shot on target. That's going to be close. That's off the crossbar. Again, we go off the crossbar. That's on target, and no! Grizzly not able to find the touch in reverse. Those are so tough to make, but I thought he had it. That is unfortunate for the Knights here on this one, giving up the goal within the last minute here.
And good for the Foxes to kind of capitalize on that as well. It's good to see that the passion coming out from the Foxes here still in Game 5. They've won 4, yeah, but in MLE, every game matters. If you win 5-0, it could make a difference instead of like a 3-2 or a 4-1, because maybe 34 games total won is more than the second wildcard spot, which is like 33 games. So it's good to see it. The Foxes are still fighting 100%, putting out their pressure, and there's almost the fourth goal right there. They get saved by Gabrones, however.
Yeah, and just a quick look at the standings shows that even with this 5-0 victory, if the Foxes do end up getting it, they're still going to be behind their division rival Puffins for top of the Arctic Division. The Knights, though, finding themselves still in a decent position. This might get them passed up. No, this actually ties them with the Spartans for second place in the Forge Division. So this doesn't change a whole lot in terms of placements on the board, but a 5-0 victory for the Foxes is definitely going to help them out. Like you were saying, with their wild card position, that could be the difference between them making it and not as we get toward the end of the season here.
And that 5-0 is actually really important, because I assume the Foxes would have to play the Puffins in one of these last 2 weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Foxes say 4-1 the Puffins, or cause I don't think 3-2 would get the division right off the bat, but let's say they 4-1 the Puffins, all of a sudden the Foxes, they just jump from 7 games back to a division leader, just like that, you know? Oh, yeah. So this was a very, very good game for the Foxes. Unfortunately, it looks like the Knights will drop out of that 7th wild card spot. The Ducks at 24-26 will take that spot for now. But overall, even though it was a 5-0, it was still a very close game in general.
Yeah, that was... I said it a few times already. I'm going to say it one more time just so everybody knows. That series scoreline was not at all indicative of the play that we saw out of the Knights. The Foxes are just very, very, very calculated in the way that they play. Great rotations all the way around. Great shot placement. Just really taking full advantage of any mistakes that the Knights made. And full credit to them for the series win. That was a super, super tough opponent in the Knights. So GG's to them, GG's to the Knights for making the series interesting and just leaving it all out on the field there. We're going to take a short intermission as we get the next series started up for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.